Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio,
on your hometown station AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our first guest this morning is Arif Halaby
Hi,
of
guys.
Total Financial Solutions.
Good morning.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
Welcome to the show.
Thank
Arif,
you.
As usual.
Always excited and having fun. I'll tell you, I had something else I was going to talk about this morning, but last Friday, and then we confirmed it on Saturday, we were made aware of a big scam that is happening. And at this particular point, from a widow with 5 children, they took $100,000.
Wow.
Yes.
Was that here locally, though?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So we're in the middle of
$100,000.
and I'm fairly confident that this is always right. You find one, there must be others, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're that good or that lucky, or that bad as a scam artist, where whatever you do, you get caught the first time. So so those are very long odds. So what I think is that this is somebody who's been doing this for quite some time. In fact, we think it's been going on for about 12 or 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
maybe longer.
Was this
And
a
it's
one incident of 100,000 or spread over years?
Because we just found out about it, we think that the way it basically worked was here's what happened. Her husband passed away, was killed in a armed robbery at the place he worked.
Thanks.
So she had life insurance, and she had a $100,000 life insurance policy. She went to the same agent that had sold her the life insurance policy, and said, because obviously that's how she collected the funds, and that agent said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that, but there's something that we can do. You have 4 children; they're going to be going to college here soon, someday, and you're going to want to take care of your mortgage, etc. We should invest it for you." The lady says, "Wow, you came through with, 6 months, a year ago, I bought this life insurance. You came through delivering a check for that. So, of course, it's a big company. It's a publicly traded company. It's well known, right? Commercials and all. So it must be fine. Sign on the wall, sign on the building and all that. Okay, fine." So they sit down. She does all the paperwork, sends it in. Everything's fine. She gets a statement. But over time, she moved and the statement stopped coming, and so she would call the agent directly. "Oh yeah, everything's fine. Your account's good." "Oh, your account's. Oh wait." So whenever she would ask to take out money, like, I think I want to take out $5,000 or $10,000. The first $5,000, she said, "Oh yeah, go ahead. Here's the paperwork. Take it out, whatever." But then after that, it was very difficult. She said every time she tried to take money out, the agent would say, "Oh, oh my gosh, the market is horrible. You don't want to take it out." Or she'd say, "But it looks like it's going up." And she said, "Oh yeah, but it's going to keep going up. So you shouldn't take it out now." Okay. So needless to say, there's a small team of lawyers that are now going through this. Literally, guys, it's just 1.5 business days old here. So they're in the middle of it. So the reason I share it with you is because there's a couple of lessons that can be learned from this. Number one, if you change your address, make sure you go to every place that you have money, financially speaking, and document and say, "Hey, here's my new change of address." Sometimes they won't allow you to call for obvious security reasons. You have to send in a form and sign something, or log on to the right website, whatever. So they make you do that. That's fine. But make sure you change addresses when you move. With everybody. That's number one. Number two, when you are dealing with today almost any financial company, you can go online and double check and backdoor and make sure that if the agent's printing, because here's what a lot of scam guys and gals do. And this happens to be a lady agent, by the way, so who's sweet and nice, and yeah. So whatever these folks do, and they would print these often in their own offices, right? You can get today with computer software, you can make any kind of statement. So that's nice. They print it up and they give it to you, but back check these people. Go directly to the main company, wherever the assets are held. Go there and check the website. Are the funds really there? Circumvent the agent. The agent's nice, great. Most of them are good people, right? They're not going to be hurting you. But every once in a while, you have to double check them you need to have access to that information.
So in this case, the agency was not legitimately an agency of this
Wrong.
powerhouse.
It was a
powerhouse.
legitimate.
It was not legitimate.
It was.
It was
It was legitimate.
Okay, so this agency was legitimate.
Everything is 100% legitimate. The agent,
Oh.
and this is where it came in. When she found out that the client moved, she changed the bank account information and said, I want to liquidate my funds. Send me $95,000. And so the preliminary look right now is that she wired the money to a third party and says, I'm going to be sending money to your account, my account, and she made up some story. So this third party, this lady was innocent. She said, okay, yeah, go ahead and send it to my account. She, for the trouble, I will give you $1,000. Oh, okay. It was $1,000 of somebody else's money. So she wired the money to this third party and then went and collected $94,000 from her. And the third party says, okay, I was just helping out a friend, and she's in the financial business, and my gosh, look at her. She has, a real office, and she's been given awards, and she's been whatever. So all of that stuff is very important to double check. The third thing I want you to do is make sure you are always receiving updated statements. Today, a lot of companies are doing things online. Oh, we'll give you, $5 off per year of our fees or something if you do online versus mail. That's mildly interesting. Still take the mail, in my opinion. I know that they're not going to like me saying this because they want to cut down the paper and you all think it's a tree. But just remember that the time it took for that tree to grow from a seed to there provided oxygen for America and pulled CO2 out. So we're happy that they cut down that tree. It had a life, had a job, and now it is your statement.
Yeah. But, Arif, one of the things that could happen is that these statements could come from that particular corrupted agent and be falsified, and that agent could have just sent it out and said, here's your statement, and made it sound legitimate. So
That's right.
That's
why we double check with the website. So both things will kind of reinforce each other. And if there's a discrepancy, you can check first with the agent. That's fine. Let them fix it. People make mistakes. It's kind of not uncommon, right? Sometimes a wrong box is checked. Oh, we'll fix it. No problem. But if you get any resistance or excuses like the old my dog ate my homework, those kinds of excuses, then you ask to speak to a supervisor. And in fact, what I would do is not even go through that agent anymore. Just go directly to the company and ask to speak to a supervisor. Tell them your concerns. Any legitimate company, especially a publicly traded company, meaning it's on the stock market, is going to be able to give you background of your transactions, where, if, how, when. Here is the big rub. The client was ripped off some time ago.
The same one?
Yes.
No, this is the whole story.
This is the story. This particular client.
This happened a few years ago?
Yeah, a few years ago. Right.
But it was ongoing.
Ongoing because every time she didn't know, right? She didn't find out until last summer. She didn't know that. So she sent a letter to the company and said, hey, where's my money? And the company says, oh, we sent it to your friend so-and-so. And
years ago.
And she's your friend, so I don't know what you did with it. You're the one that told us to send it to her. Well, no, the agent forged the signature, right?
My goodness.
So here's the problem. There seems to be evidence, because the company sent out a team of lawyers, there seems to investigate years ago when there was potential of other fraud going on with other folks. It seems to be the company's lawyers knew about it.
Oh, that's
you're
a problem.
Kidding.
And we're waiting to see if the client would ever find out or if a particular statute of limitations would go by.
You're kidding me.
No. Very dirty.
My
So
goodness.
So I'm going to hold off, and we're going to give them a chance to do the right thing. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an investigator. We'll let those guys do their jobs. This is a preliminary, but if this can happen with a big company and the quote, lawyers and team and the company is going to do the right thing, look at their commercials, right? They say that all the time. How do you make sure that you are protected? Well, these are the ways to do it. I don't want you counting on a company. I don't want you counting on an individual. You want to double check everything. It's just a way to make sure.
Yeah, and this is a piece of one's nest egg.
It is huge.
That one is counting on
Single
for
widows
later in life,
yes,
especially a
single mom,
widow.
widow, folks. This is I don't care what holy book you look at, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, it says specifically to take care of widows and orphans. Specifically, they're the ones, and this son of a gun or daughter of a gun, whatever it might be, decided to do that. So I just want to give you guys a cautionary tale. Double check. You're going to do those 3 things. You're going to make sure you are getting regular statements, updating your email. Both your email address and your physical mail address if you move, and then go directly to the website of the company and say, my account statement says I have 97,000 or 397. Is it really there? Oh, yes, it is. Okay. Make sure you're not going to go through the phone number that he or she agent tells you to call. You're going to go through the website, right? It's just like with these scam artists, they'll call and say, oh, I'm from the IRS. Call me back at this number, right? And of course, when you call, they say IRS. No, folks. You go irs.gov, pull up their phone number, and you say,
That's right.
This is the real phone number to the IRS, right? Just the same thing. I want you to double check.
Wow.
Scary, huh?
Scary.
Yeah.
It really is.
But every
Oh,
day,
my
though, our
goodness.
seniors, they're targets in this era, and people know they're out there, and they know that our seniors have nest eggs that they're trying to survive on now, and they're trying to extract that away from them in some illegitimate way. So our seniors have to be aware of those red flags that when they're being asked for money, and if there's anything that says to you that something might be wrong, you really have to put your antennae up and say, maybe there is something wrong, before they move through and do something where they could be parted with their money.
Yes, and sometimes we go through hiccups in our life, right? As a working person, as a retired person, as somebody who might be injured, surgery now and again, an ailment. The best way to keep track of where and how much money you have and where it is a single piece of paper. Write down your account numbers, how much, the dates you opened it. By tracking it, if you kind of lose your faculties a little bit, or you go into the hospital for a little bit, the way that you keep from being taken is by having, whether it's on the computer if you're computer savvy, or whether it's written down, but a list of your accounts, when, where, maybe what company, what agent, what broker, what person, and that allows you to kind of track that as you go, so that if you're incapacitated, somebody else can make sure that nothing is left behind.
Could that in itself be a problem, though, Arif, if you're putting things on your computer and it goes cloud,
Yes.
and somebody invades the cloud? So
Yes.
how do, safe deposit box might be a place as well?
As long as it's always
family
updated.
member with an
Yeah.
envelope that says, here's where everything is. Now our computers are being invaded.
Yeah.
And we don't even know when that occurs, and with whether it be our bank accounts or credit cards, all of that. So, and I do think a tertiary place where maybe not a family member, maybe not any relationship to you, but a legitimate person who you've known for years, you can say, here, this is where, all my things are. This is where, my accounts and the names of people and all of that are maybe a safer way of, helping our seniors out. Because you lose $100,000, I mean, that's big time. And, I feel
it's very
bad for
scary.
her, and, but we need to, that hiccup in life, this is a big hiccup for her, but, we need to make sure that our other seniors learn from these lessons, and that's why you're on the show.
Well, thank you. I think if go ahead. Yes.
The other thing too is one thing happened to me a couple of years ago. Somebody had gotten into my mailbox, taken out a check,
Of course.
and
Washed it.
forged it,
Oh.
pulled out $500 from my bank account.
Oh, wow.
And
called it
I
washing
thought,
it or something?
Wait, yeah, they did whatever they did to it. And when it came through, I thought, wait a minute,
Yes.
this is not my signature.
Yes.
So I went to the bank.
The
And,
bank should have given you your money back on that.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did. They I would have blown it up if I hadn't.
For sure. And
And
many.
the other thing too, excuse me, Arif, the
Yeah.
other thing too with people calling wanting donations for this, that, and the other. Oh, we'll just take your debit card number.
That's right.
Are you
that.
kidding me?
Don't.
I say, no, I don't do that over the phone. You send me the paperwork and I will send you the check or a money order or whatever.
That's right.
But I now put my mail in the big mailbox.
Yes.
I don't put it in my little one at the front of the door.
It used to be people would do that. They would leave their outgoing mail just inside their mailbox.
and put the flag up.
That's right. It's
Don't do that
almost
anymore.
like taking a steak and wearing a steak necklace and running down through the woods and wondering why the mountain lion and bears are chasing you.
That's
Guys,
right.
you put the flag up. They don't even have to look.
No.
They just drive down the street and they know where there's potential cable bill payments, gas company, electric
That's
company.
right.
So that's certainly one way to do that. And Dr. Dorio, your point about some of the fraud that's happening out there, it's true. It is. Sometimes it's better to have part of the information in one and part in the other. In other words, the details of the actual account minus the account number, and then a separate document, separate location, the actual account numbers. So you can say, company X, 100,000, started in January 2010. Okay, that, and then over here, account number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that gives you some sort of separation and a little bit more effort. But
When they call us up, though, I think our seniors need to hear this and hear it over and over again. When that phone call comes in and somebody asks you for a credit card number, your bank account number, your Social Security
Never.
number, or
Unless
they're
you know
talking
them.
about Western Union and sending money through Western Union or something like that, you have to, your judgment has to be alert now, and be talking to friends and people around you to make sure that's legitimized.
That's
because, those are the cons, and I think when you hear that, you need to be alert. Those are the red flags. We need to take a step back and say, this might not be legitimate, and especially if they're offering you something for nothing.
Well, it's interesting too. I've been receiving calls from ABC Corporation saying, you have just won
Yes.
such and such amount of money.
Yes.
And I think, really? Yeah? When are you going to send it to me? Oh, well, we won't be able to do that until you send us a Western Union or
the
some kind
taxes,
of
right.
tax to pay for it first.
Yeah.
Then we will deliver it to your doorstep. Would you like it advertised on television?
Right.
I say, no, thank you. Well, but you're giving up $100,000. Yes, I am. I'm not going to take it. Not for that.
I have had, I may have mentioned, my own aunt has fallen for this scam, and she's a little off, and I think she's up to $250,000, and she keeps sending it out.
Huh?
My dad and I have sat there time and again, and you listen to her answering machine, and it is a male and a female, and sweet and nice and mean and angry and pushy, and they're just call after call, because once you get on their radar, you've won the Canadian lottery, you've won a lottery over here, or Publishers Clearinghouse. And folks, if you play those things, great. They come to your door. You've seen it on TV with the balloons and the big check. That's probably the next step that I would look at. But other than that, you're not that special. Love you, but you are not that special for somebody to give you $100,000. Just say, hey, listen, if I've won $100,000, just take the taxes out. Oh, it's not allowed illegal. Well, then when you change the law, you let me know. Thank you. We've had other folks that have strung them along and played games with them and called them names and said, shame on you. What kind of a person? Don't you have a parent or a mother, a grand? I mean, I've heard it all. And to finish up, we had a lady come into our office yesterday, and she had a Senior Action Network, Washington, D.C., P.O. Box something, the association, and the whole thing, it looked like a Social Security Action Network or something. You're not getting paid, and so-and-so, and signed by President so-and-so, and it's just it is a scam. They might be slightly legitimate where they give 5% or 8% to charity and they keep the rest. The biggest challenge, you guys, is this. when you have big organizations like the Clinton Foundation only gave 5 to 8% of the money donated to charity, and the rest went to expenses. It's difficult for a legitimate foundation to still go to those same people when you feel disappointed, you feel like you've been taken. There's hundreds of millions of dollars in large organizations that have never sent that money to the Katrina victims, to the Haiti victims. There's organizations that have never sent a penny. And that's pretty sad. If you have a charity you're interested in participating in, go to charitynavigator.com. charitynavigator.com or Charity Watch. I think it's .org, charitywatch.org. Both of those will give you a chance you can go through. It's a third-party website. They rate the different, they give them ABC, they tell you what percentage, how much the executive director is earning. Goodwill, for example, I think they make almost $1 million and $2 million a year for the CEO. Salvation Army, he makes $40,000 a year.
I know.
Right? Goodwill is a for-profit entity. They break it up.
It absolutely is.
It is a completely different than what you think it is. Do they do some good? Oh, I'm sure. But is it what you think it is? Maybe
well, it's
not.
the way it's portrayed, too.
That's right. Salvation Army, in my opinion, guys, and then Help the Children, which is an organization here in Valencia, Help the Children. Both are 90 to 95% goes out to charities.
Totally legitimate.
Yeah, the rest stay in as expenses. That's pretty impressive.
It is. It's very impressive. Well, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Yes. Be careful out there,
It's
folks.
been very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station AM 1220 KHTS.